Welcome to the I Am Restor'd podcast. I am your host, Miss Leslie, and I am so glad that you decided to join me today. Today, we're going to be talking about self-love and all of the ugly truth that goes along with it. We're going to be listening from an excerpt from my audiobook. The first cut is the deepest. Please follow me on all my social media. I am Miss Leslie across all platforms. Let's get a conversation going. So without further ado, self-love, the ugly truth. And when you internalize the external, it becomes the story that you tell yourself. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. And I'm going to eat sour grapes. So therefore, every time you try to love, it no longer comes from that warm place of love and innocence that you had. It comes from a tortured place of you desiring to be loved. And so you extend that kindness or you extend that open arm for someone to come in to love you. And for me, I opened my arms for love and attached myself to toxicity, and it became my nightmare. The love relationships that I entered into were never fulfilling. In times I was seeking out love and I didn't see it there and it didn't look like I wanted it to look, so I went and explored elsewhere, only to find that that individual wasn't the love that I needed, only to find that they didn't have what I was looking for, and blaming that person for not being enough or not loving me enough past my own issues. They didn't make me happy. They didn't make me feel good. It only lasted a moment. The person that I wanted to be, the person that I desired to be, that person only lasted for a moment. And when they saw the truth of my brokenness, they exited stage right. In that moment, it broke me. Piece by piece. Lost love by lost love. Not realizing that I was doing the breaking by not healing myself from the wound of not loving myself. It seems counterintuitive when you think about it to invite love when you don't know love. It seems a bit off when you think with a normal, clear mind to be angry with someone who leaves when you, in fact, are the catalyst for them leaving. We always say love is patient, love is kind, it does not does not envy, it does not boast, it's not proud, it doesn't dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. I was expecting love from another person, but it was self-seeking love. I loved them if they loved me right. And they should love me no matter what, because love is patient. And they should be kind to me. You will always attract what you are. One of the reasons why I stopped dating, which was a hard decision to come to, was to not have a boyfriend. Because the majority of my life, I have had a boyfriend. As you'll hear in other parts of this, I was in a relationship for 9 years, and then I was in another relationship for 4 additional years. So my entire end of my adolescence in high school and well into my 20s, all the way up into my 30s, I was in a relationship. This is the first time in my life that I have ever not been in a relationship and not desired a romantic relationship. And when I say not desired, I should probably say I am not actively pursuing a relationship with a partner. I am, however, open to receiving the love that I'm giving off. As I said before, you receive what you are. And when I think about the love relationship that I have with myself, I am I was a walking toxic relationship. I had unrealistic expectations of myself. I was never kind to myself. I was never patient with myself. I envied others who looked like they loved themselves, but I boasted about how much I loved myself. I was proud. I was angry at myself. I kept all the records of everything that I had ever done. I openly bruised myself. I bruised myself. And I expected another person to come in and heal the bruises that I internally inflicted on myself. I needed help to heal, and I looked for someone else to do it. Come into my life and love me. Come into my life and make it better. Come into my life and make me happy. I need something. I need love. I used to say a little phrase, I love love. I love love. I love the way it feels, the way it smells, the way it makes me happy and joyful. And when it's good, it's good. I was angry at every love that left, except the ones I rejected. I inherently knew in those relationships that they were not healthy. They were not what love was. They modeled my own internal experience. That is why self-love is so important. So self-love is a buzzword in this generation. Self-love is about going to get a massage or having that glass of wine or taking that bubble bath and listening to beautiful music. It's about going to the gym and having that hour of just self-power. That's what self-love looks like. It's about face masks. It's about green smoothies. It's about an hour with your girls, just shooting a breeze over brunch. All of those things are byproducts of an even deeper relationship that you are trying to build. It is about honoring at a very fundamental level the things that bring you joy. But self-love is more than a glass of wine with your girls or shooting a breeze with your homeboys. It is about getting to the fundamental level of how you deal with yourself. Sometimes the conversations that you have with yourself are not going to seem as though they are self-love. Now, there's a difference between bullying and tough love, and sometimes we don't know the difference. We try to bully ourselves into submission. We try to bully ourselves into being better when we really should be setting boundaries for ourselves. We talk about setting boundaries for the people that come into our lives as a pro self-love. I know what I'm worth. I know what I need, and I'm not accepting anything less. But you lied to yourself yesterday when you said you were going to the gym and you did not go. So when someone comes into your life and they tell you that they're coming over and they don't come, they lied. Maybe something happened, but they didn't call and say something happened. They disappointed you. But that is a pattern of expectation that you set for yourself when you decided that it was not worth the time to go and walk for an hour. Now, should you sit in your bed and beat yourself up because you made that choice? No. Own the choice, but look at the bigger picture of love here. Think about the internal conversations that happen when no one else is around. When you have a work deadline that you don't think that you're going to do, And you start beating yourself up because your time management skills were not what you wanted it to be. I shouldn't have done this and I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have gone there. I shouldn't have said that. I should have studied a little bit longer. I'm so sick of myself. Can I do anything right? It seems like every time I try, it just falls apart. So why do I even try? Is that love? For everything that we know about love, is that love? There is a difference between bullying and tough love. Bullying says, you are never going to be good enough. Tough love says, what can I do to be better? Is it taking a class? Do I need to take a class? Do I need to read a book? How can I become a better version of myself? Bullying says, you need to stop eating so much. You can't even button your jeans. And did you see that picture of yourself the other day? They should have just cropped you out because you look a hot mess in that dress. Ugh. Tough love says, my jeans are fitting kind of tight and I wasn't as cute as I thought I was. So what can I do to be better? Do I need to do a cleanse? Do I need to work out a little bit more? Do I really need that Starbucks every single morning? You analyze versus bullying because that doesn't help you. You know that you're overweight. So why would you yell at yourself? The gauge that I use when I speak to myself and when I think about behaviors is if I had a child. I am not blessed to be a mother at this moment, but I am a parent. I parent myself. And I think about the younger version of me. And you see all these posts where they say, well, what would you tell your younger self? What would you tell a younger version of yourself? And I say, let's take that a step further. What would we say to a child? What would we say in the moment to someone who is impressionable? And put that on our own hearts. Would you tell a 10-year-old that they're fat and that they need to go on a diet? No. So why would you tell the innocent part of yourself that? Would you tell a 10-year-old that they never do anything right? And every time you turn around, they're getting everything they do wrong? Or would you try to help them find solutions to the problem that they have? Why don't you do that for yourself? That is a part of self-love. Guiding yourself to being better. Speaking to yourself with respect. Not dishonoring the gift that you are to the world. No matter what religion you are, no matter what you believe, faith-wise, you are a gift in this world, whether you believe in God or not. Your very presence matters on a bigger scale. Why would you diminish that with negative self-talk? When I first started getting into the realm of self-help, it was about 10 years ago. And I've always been on a path of self-development. It was just through the realm of Christian thoughts. And I don't subscribe to all of the things that Christianity has to offer. And I don't subscribe to everything that the self-help community has to offer. But I believe in principles and I believe in universal truths. I believe that what you put out into the world is what you receive. And fundamentally, what you put out in the world is what is internally happening to you in the quiet, private moments of your life. So if in the quiet, private moments of your life, you are in complete and utter chaos, that is what matters. Not that you can walk out into the world with your flawless makeup or your fresh haircut, drive your nice car to a job that you hate, put on fake smiles for 8 to 10 hours, and everyone believe that you are wonderfully happy with everything that is going on in your life. But your toxicity has spilled over into your relationships, your family, your children. It's manifesting in your health. But your mask looks great. Your proxy that showed up for life looks great. There are always symptoms of an illness. There are always symptoms of a toxin. If we think about the human body, for those of us who have allergies, we know immediately when we have come in contact with a toxin or an allergen, which our body perceives as a toxin. It could be grass. Our bodies perceive grass as a toxin if we are allergic to grass. And then we get the symptoms, the itchy eyes, the runny nose, the scratchy throat. And we get an antihistamine, sometimes non-drowsy. Sometimes we just want to get rid of the pain so we go to sleep. When our heart is not working right, things go wrong. When the pressure in our body is too high, we get headaches. When our kidneys are not working, when our liver is not functioning, we get all of these signs that there is something wrong internally. Then we go to the doctor, and the doctor prescribes us something to ease the symptoms so that we're able to live life. Doctors never say we're curing your disease. We're treating it. We're treating it. We're treating it. You're going to feel better. I have a wonderful doctor, and she's honest with me. You have this. This is what you're dealing with. I'm going to give you this. This is going to treat it, but you really need to fix the underlying problem. When you fix the underlying problem of what's causing this issue, then I can stop prescribing you this treatment and your body will heal itself. When our proxy shows up wearing this beautiful, ornate mask, we are putting a treatment out into the world. We're not dealing with the fundamental problem. We're putting a Band-Aid on the issue. And when we talk about self-love and we have the glass of wine, how is that glass of wine helping you in the bigger scheme of things? It may relax you for the moment and make you feel like you're doing something wonderful for yourself. But then you go to bed and you cry yourself to sleep. Have you really dealt with the pain that you felt in that moment? Did you really heal yourself? When you had the chance to show yourself kindness, did you have a snack instead? Now, I'm not saying that these things are inherently bad. I have done them. And sometimes after I get off my job, I do want a tall glass of something that's not water. But before I take those steps, I offer gratitude. I take deep breaths and realize that I need a minute. I ask myself for what I need in this moment. What do I really need in this moment? Maybe I do need a bubble bath and to be alone with my thoughts. Or maybe I need to go work out to get off some of my frustration. Maybe I do need to take a selfie in the mirror and remind myself how cute I am. But that is just a product of a deeper level of thinking. So all of the things that we see externally when we think about self-love, as long as it has a deeper level of meaning for us, that is what matters. When it's time to parent ourselves and we have to look at the hard facts that we didn't do what we were supposed to do, How do we handle ourselves? Are we kind to ourselves and understanding that we made a bad decision, but how do we fix it? Where do we go from here? Or do we spend days and days and days, hours beating ourselves up over a situation that is not going to change by the pain that we are inflicting on ourselves? It is completely possible to live your entire life not knowing that you really don't love yourself, that you really aren't kind to yourself. And for those of us who think that we have all arrived, knowing that we're missing pieces, but never stopping to gather yourself together, blaming others in our path, who does that serve? It doesn't serve you, and it certainly doesn't serve the people who love you. What if we paused? What if we took a day, a week? What if we didn't have a day, a week? What if we just had 5 minutes? 5 minutes to stop. Not meditate, not say affirmations, not have negative self-talk, not be a mother, not be a sister, not be a title, not be a anything. Just 5 minutes of being a human. What would that look like? What would it look like to give yourself permission to feel all of the emotions that you've been holding on to? What would it look like to deny yourself the pity party that you would normally have in this moment? What would it look like to decompress the stress that you have experienced all day long and you cannot tell anyone because they tell you that you can handle it? You were built for this. So you pile it on to prove that they're right. What would it look like if you took 5 minutes to stand still and be in the truth of the moment? Let the feelings wash over you. Reset and move forward. That, my friend, is being a human. Without the restraints, without other people's opinions, without the negative self-talk. 5 minutes is the beginning, and who knows what could happen if you just took those minutes to be patient, to be kind, to breathe, to give yourself in that moment what you need. Thank you so much for listening to this excerpt from this book. Hold tight because the book and the audiobook will be dropping February 24th, 2020. For more information, keep an eye on my social media. Again, it's I am Miss Leslie across all platforms. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast, and I will see you next time.